What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo Null-Sec episode. I'm going to be giving you guys some updates on our manufacturing, our research, and everything. And then I'm going to kind of touch on my ambition in terms of passive income. And it's something that I've been wanting to set up for a long time. And I'm just kind of slowly starting to kind of piece it all together and get it all kind of worked out. But let's go ahead and open up our industry window here. As you can see, we've been focusing a lot on the component research because it's like 19 hours for both ME and TE, so just trying to knock a lot of that stuff out. Our first round of reactions is still going. Got about 8 days left on that. Once those are through, then we'll start making reinforced carbon fiber and things like that. Our capital core temp regulator did come out of mineral efficiency research, so we put it right back in for time efficiency. That should give it a 9 of 9, or 9 and 9. And then we'll eventually get it to a 10 of 20. And then our regular core temp regulator is got about 4 days left on its ME, and then we'll probably put it back in for TE as well. Tractor unit, the Charon is coming out of ME in like 7 days at X8. So before we actually send that into like TE, I want to do some copy runs on it to try to invent into some Ray blueprint copies and see how successful we are with that. Pretty much anything that has to do with the Charon is going to be very time consuming just because of the type of ship it is. Any sort of research or manufacturing or invention is going to be a long endeavor. And as you probably already tell, since we've started kind of working manufacturing here in Null-Sec, progress has been slow but steady. Now, a lot of the enjoyment that I've had in Null-Sec is basically just passive income. I am a really big fan of PI. I probably do more PI than the average person, and I also really love building things that can be easily exported. And since I'm very ISK focused right now, trying to earn as much ISK as possible and spend as little, nanite repair paste is going to be something that I am going to be doing a full operation on. And by full operation, what I mean is I will have a 25 factory planet for all 6 of the P2 that go in nanite repair paste. And then at the beginning, I'll have a 24 planet or 24 factory planet to do data chips and gel matrix biopaste. And what that'll do is give me 12 factories to run data chips, 12 to run gel matrix biopaste. And then we also we'll have a dedicated planet that will just be running nanites all the time. So between all of the dedicated planets, so basically we're going to have dedicated process planets for every P2 going into this stuff. And then we'll have anywhere between, I would say, 4 to 7 alts doing all the extraction of P1. And so I'm going to give you guys kind of an idea about what kind of goes into the nanite repair paste manufacturing. What's nice about this item is it is entirely generated from PI, so it works really well as being a very good ISK per M3 export because it weighs very little, so you can ship a lot of it back in a very small volume for high amounts of ISK. So our goal is going to be creating as much of this as possible. We're going to try to shoot for about 22 to 23,000 runs in a 30-day period, which is what maxes out the BPO for 30 days. And the goal is to just keep adding PI alts for extraction to the point where we can eventually run a couple of these BPOs a month, so we can first be outputting about 7 billion in value, and then when we surpass that, we can extend our processing for P2 and get another BPO in the works and extend the operation out to like 14 billion a month. Setting everything up is very time consuming, but I'm doing it piece by piece. So I train a new alt, and then when it gets out here, I fill in the P1 gaps that I need. Once everything is set up, resetting the extractors every day and picking everything up is relatively fast and efficient. I try to put all of my PI alts into blockade runners, and so I pick up just about every day and a half, and then just kind of dump everything here on the main, where I have a spreadsheet that I calculate inventory, and see where my gaps are, and then I'll kind of run through the process planets that I've set up and how they all work. But I really only have to fill up the process planets every like 3 days, because I usually just take 75,000 of each of the inputs, shove them in the Paco, and then the launch pad will get 25, which is enough for about 25 hours of running. So every time I fill up the planet, it'll essentially run for 3 days before I have to take any more material out there. So let's go ahead and look at the first process planet. This one's going to be for super tensile plastics, and you'll notice, like, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that all of my process planets are pretty much the same. 25 factories with a single launch pad here, and everything is just producing super tensile plastics. And then what I do is, right now we got about 11 hours left on this biomass and oxygen, but I also have another couple of days worth of biomass and oxygen on the Paku side of storage. So when I fill up basically all the process planets and with 3 days worth of materials, and then to refuel the launch pads, I can just kind of sit in station, view outside, and manipulate all that stuff. So this is the super tensile plastic planet, and then we'll go over here. Same setup for oxides with compound and everything. We'll go and look at what we have kind of stored in here. Got about 10 hours or so, and then this will get refilled. In about 10 hours, I'll be throwing the next batch into all this. And then I'm also running oxygen here. You need double oxygen, because 2 of the P2s, super tensile plastics and oxides, both take oxygen. The total amount of P1 needed for nanite repair paste is only 11 of the 15 P1s, but I rounded up to 12 because you always need to double down on that oxygen. So, and I'll kind of explain how my extraction plan and everything will end up working out. And then we'll jump down here to the biocells, same setup. All 25 factories running that. We got about 10 hours as well. I load all these at the same time, so they all essentially kind of run out at the same time, so I can refuel everything or restock everything as close to each other as possible. This one's making superconductors, so plasmoids and water there. And then I still have this this ice processing planet here. This is a 24 factory planet with 2 launch pads. One of them's holding the output for robotics, mechanical parts, and enriched uranium. And then this is the input, where I just have reactive metal, toxic metal, and precious metal. I'm running this just to build out the remaining PI I need for fuel blocks and to use up my oxygen, or isotopes rather. Once I actually use up all my isotopes, we'll be fully going into nanite repair paste moving forward. So this planet will end up becoming the nanite planet. And the reason I'm not running nanites right now is because I do have like 6,000, 7,000 nanites on hand. And we're still actually building up our stockpile of bacteria and stuff from extraction. So once I kind of get to like the 75,000 for bacteria, then reactive metals, then I can start that planet, route it, and it'll fall in line with everything else that's kind of going on here. Now, the way this works is once we have enough extraction alts for P1, and we're picking up every day and refueling these process planets every basically 3 days, these P2 planets will essentially run 24/7 once we hit a certain point of P1 acquisition. And then if these P2 process planets run 24/7, then that will allow us to run a 12 factory process for data chips and a 12 factory process for gel matrix biopaste, and we'll be able to run that 24/7, which will result in around, I want to say, like 25,000 runs of nanite repair paste a month. And I'll give you an idea of kind of what the value for that is. All right, right here is the nanite repair paste BPO, and this BPO maxes out at 22,690 runs, and it'll give you a total of the value of the nanite repair paste coming out is about 7.3 billion, and it only weighs, or the volume of that whole lot is only like 2,200 cubic meters. The input is about 6.7 bill. The point here is The amount of volume that the input material is like 196,000 cubic meters. You'd never export that. You could if you wanted to, but we're going to end up basically just taking the passive income and value of the PI, converting it into a slightly higher value, lower volume export thing in the repair paste. It'll go immediately to JITA. It'll get sold probably on sell orders or whatever the case may be. But the idea is that every 30 days, because if we take this 22,690 runs, it'll take 30 days to a little over 30 days to run completely. So the idea is that we get everything to the point where once we start this job once a month, we'll have essentially 30 days to build up all of the materials again to do it again when it comes out. So essentially this BPO will run pretty much all the time at max runs. If our P1 and our P2 and if all of our output for PI ends up being really if we're stockpiling a lot of materials over what this is required, then that's when we'll introduce a second BPO and scale it up even more. Here's my stockpile here, and for the P1, I got a little bit of everything. There's the toxic metals and stuff like that, and structures and stuff like that are not used in nanite repair paste, so I'm gonna be just kind of consuming those and to consumer electronics and enriched uranium before we really get everything all set up. You're probably noticing, if you do know anything about nanite repair paste, you're probably noticing that I'm missing a microfiber shielding process planet. It's not actually missing, it's just on another tune. But and it's over here on this tune because I am essentially getting, we don't have a lava planet in the main system or a temperate planet in the main system, so what I'm doing is I'm getting the industrial fibers and the silicon from the same system and then just processing that microfiber shielding in the same system, so I don't have to worry about carrying it all over and then importing it. I can just kind of do it all here. But these are export planets. They're set up with 10 factories, each with one extractor, 10 heads. So this is for the industrial fibers. And then I have the same setup for silicon. And then also this character is running water, and then also another oxygen, and then a biomass. And this is just, filling in the gaps. I'll show you the spreadsheet that I have kind of working with all this as well, and how I'm kind of tracking everything, which will be the biggest tool I'll be using to kind of introduce new alts into the whole kind of situation. This is the other alt that's up and running right now too. It is also running a industrial fiber planet, and it's also running a silicon, and then it's also doing reactive metals, biomass, bacteria, and another oxygen. So our target here is essentially we need 3 source planets. We need 3 extraction planets for each of the 11 type of P1 going in to nanite repair paste to facilitate the P2 process planets to run 24 hours a day. Now that's going to end up equating to about 4 to 5 PI alts once everything is said and done, but I'll probably go a little bit beyond that. Because if you need, for instance, if you want the nanite planet, process planet to run 24/7, you're going to need 3 planets of bacteria, 3 planets of reactive metals. And since we already know that we're going to be doubling down, we have to double down on oxygen. The only P1 that we really need 6 planets for is going to be oxygen, because it has to go in twice to 2 different things. So it's going to be very ambitious. It's going to be crazy. It won't, once everything is set up, it'll actually be pretty easy to manage. And I actually do really enjoy kind of just sitting here in the station and just kind of continually feeding these process planets and essentially just printing ISK, as it were. Now, obviously, you have to take into account omega cost and all of that into all this as well, which is why I think that for most people, you probably would not be doing just this to sustain yourself, because with the price of Plex and Omega, it can be pretty crazy right now. But as far as passive income goes, this is kind of what I'm going to be focusing a lot. Once we kind of, I feel like we're not going to really be focusing too heavily on manufacturing in this series as a main focus, because it's so it's a very slow process for like the building and stuff. But like this series moving forward is going to be mainly showing this entire in-out repair pace operation in process. So what I'm going to do is the next episode for this series is going to be on November the 1st of 2023. And what we'll be doing at that point, I'm going to try to have everything set up by then. So the goal is on November 1, we're going to start stockpiling and processing. And for the entire month of November, we're going to see how long it takes us to get all the materials for that full BPO run, that 22,690 runs of net repair pace. When the goal is to actually scale our P out to the point where we can get that BPO ran at max before the end of November. So there'll probably be daily episodes kind of showing our averages for the P1 coming out for all the tunes, and then also kind of showing how the P2 stockpile is also kind of working and everything. But that is the plan. Very ambitious. Love PI. I think that this is going to end up doing a lot of work towards my my net worth goal once everything is kind of all set up. We do have to kind of get a couple more alts kind of positioned where we can by the 1st of November. I need to get like 2 more alts in place and set up in order to really hit the numbers here. But I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I have working here so you can kind of get a good idea of how I'm tracking all this, and that's going to help with just the admin side of this crazy stuff. All right, so this is my spreadsheet, and this is how I track everything. It's in a sortable list. So right now we have all of the 15 types of P1, and also I run a count, and then each one of these columns here represents a different alt that's going to be established in extracting. So as you see right here, this gives us a good idea. So for bacteria, we got it on character 1 and 3, and then like biomass is on character 2 and 3. And then this is going to give us an idea of like where we are at and what gaps we need to fill. So for this next alt that's coming in right now, it's probably going to end up being going down here and doing this. Actually, not structures. We don't need that. We'll probably actually go oxygen. That's probably where we'll go. That'll give us 2 of each. And then this other, the next tune after that is essentially going to have to just start at the top. We have to have 3 industrial fibers, and I want to go crazy on oxygen as well, and then silicon. Those are the big focuses because of just the availability in the constellation for that stuff. And then this character will probably we'll look at the inventory. We'll see kind of where we're lacking, which I have a feeling it's going to probably be precious metals, water, and then probably oxidizing compounds. And so then we'll be able to get a good idea of where we need to be at for the next character, which will be biomass, another bacteria, and then a reactive metal, and then a plasmoids, and then a biofuel. And then we'll have 1 more planet left over here. So we can either go crazy on oxygen, but chances are I'll probably actually go industrial on that as well. I'll probably put industrial fibers on everybody just because we want to just have a good stockpile of that moving forward. This right here, once we get all this stuff set up, this is enough P1 extraction a day to facilitate the P2 process plants to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round. And if those are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, then we can run our 12 and 12 split on our P3, and that'll run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which will get us our 7 bill. So we'll have 1 character left over after the fact, and at that point we will be looking at just what our gaps are. So anything that we're really lacking on, then that character will essentially just kind of fill in those things. Like really important stuff would be precious metals, still oxidizing compound, probably industrial fibers as well, and then bacteria, and then reactive metals, because that's the thing, is we want the nanites to be running all the time without fail, because it's such a big part of the whole thing. So we need 1 more. We would need 1 more here, so I would think probably oxygen. So this is kind of my plan overall, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 P1 extraction alts, and this gives us a good variety of export. Even and all these guys are going to be separated on planets as well. So we're going to be minimizing the overlap on the planets that they're sharing and also the systems they're sharing, so that we don't get diminishing returns on any sort of thing like that. So this is going to be the plan. I don't think we'll have all 7 set up before November 1, but I think that these guys will probably are really far out, and then this guy is really far out as well. But we're going to have to expedite these two and get these running, get a lot of these P1s at the 3 mark. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.